Hi guys, let us discuss what a constructor is in object-oriented programming. Basically, it is a method which gets automatically invoked when we create an object. So we have defined a simple class like this, class my class 1 def underscore underscore init underscore underscore, and within parenthesis self print I am a constructor. So let us create an object of this class 1. So we write like this 1 and then we invoke. So what we have done, we have created an object of a class named my class 1. Okay. This is also called creating an instance of a class. So whatever. Now let us define this constructor once again with little bit more in it. So here we will write that A and B. So what it is doing is it is taking two parameters. So what we will do? Print I am supplied with two arguments, right? And when we can say the arguments are A, comma B. Let us create another this thing. So maybe we can name it as 2, right? And this time we will say object my class 2. And we will have to pass two arguments. See what is it? I am a constructor. I am supplied with two arguments. The arguments are 10 and 20. So let us create one more. All these are constructed. So now this time what we will do is we will take these two arguments to A and B parameters and we will do something like this. Self A is equal to, or maybe self X is equal to A, self Y is equal to B. Now the moment I have written self dot X and self dot Y, that means I am assigning the value whichever is coming at the time of creating of this object to object's property. So this will be supplied while creating object, and those parameters we will take and make that parameters part of this object. Like which object? The object which would be created. So let us see what I'm saying. I'll say self. These are part of the object created. So now I will write something like this: self X, self Y. Now let me name it as 3. We are passing to value, any value we can pass. See now, I'm a constructor, I'm supplied with two arguments. The arguments are 1, 2. These are part of the object created. These are part of the object created. So when they have become part of object, when we have assigned like this. Okay. Now see what we can do further. This time it will be 4. And we will do something different. Now let me not write all these things. This we have seen how it works. Fine, fine. And now let me define method. So what I will say, we, we can say something like this. Mm, X is this and Y is this, close it, and then what we will do, we will say self X plus self Y. So of course we can write this here. Okay, we can write like this. Just see what happens. Object, my class 4, we will apply, say 10 and 20 we will supply, and then now we will invoke the method add. So what happens when we invoke the method add? It says X plus Y is 30. Okay. Now invoke one more. Let us create subtract this time. Copy paste. Let us write this minus sign and here minus sign. And then we can say this is subtract and this multiply, multiply, and then we can write divide, correct? And here we will write y here. Okay, that is division, sorry, and division. So now we can say add, we can say obj subtract. Oh, what happened? Subtract, where is the issue? Subtract, subtract y. Okay, okay, maybe it did not run. Okay, minus 10 and then multiply, then divide. Okay, good. Now, these are the results when we are invoking. So, let us recap right from the beginning. My class 1 we created, just a constructor. When we are creating an object, automatically this method is getting invoked. We are not invoking it, it is getting invoked. That is a point that should be noted. Now again, we created my class 2. This time we are passing two arguments. So see, 10 and 20, we are passing 10 to A, 20 to B, and then we are printing like this. I'm a constructor, I'm supplied with two arguments. The arguments are 10, 20. Okay. Now this is my class 3. Here what we are doing, A and B. See, when I created an object and if we pass 1 and 2, why? The constructor is getting invoked and it would expect two values. So at the time of creating an object, we are passing like this 1 and 2. And then this is very important. This 1 and 2 is going to this parameter A and B. But by writing like this self X and self X is equal to A and self Y is equal to B, we are making these two parameters part of the object. So it has become property of the object. So they are two properties of the object, whichever is going to get created. In this case, it is obj. We can check now whether that is getting created or not. Let us invoke this and just see obj x. What is that? Look, 1. And obj y. What is that? 2. See, this has become obj x and y simply because when I write a dot x, that means it has become part of the object, right? And here y has become part of object. If we will not assign this, we will not be able to access it. If you want to see, let me comment and show you. So if, and this will be an error message. This will be an error message. So let me comment this as well. Okay, now let us see. Okay, now what? See, my class object has no attribute x, and of course even y is not there. The error has not reached this point. It is it. saw this error and got stuck here itself. So that is how we create a property of the any object. Now I have to run. Very good. Now let us see my class 4 what it is doing. Same thing like class 3, but this time what we are doing is we have added many methods. So let us do create this. I'm a constructor. It is getting invoked automatically. I don't do anything. However, these methods add, subtract, multiply, divide, I will have to explicitly call, meaning I will have to write something like this: obj add, then add will come. Obj subtract, subtract method will get invoked. Obj dot multiply, multiply method will get invoked. When I invoke divide, divide is getting invoked. And they are doing what has been written inside respective methods. Now let us write another one. Now what we will do is, this time what we will do make a little modification over here, and here we will say self add, self subtract, self multiply, self divide. And what is happening when we are creating an object, this method is going to get invoked. We will supply two arguments, and then what will happen, it will print I am a constructor, and then it will create these two properties x and y with these arguments which will be passed, and then it will invoke its method, one of its method, that is add. Now what add is doing? Self x plus self y. See, add is a part of object, x is part of object, y is part of object. So when method is accessing any properties belonging to itself, it will have to write like self and self here, because we are identifying the object being passed as self. This name could be any name, but the conventional practice is to write self here. So the object which is going to get passed will be self. So self x plus, and then it will invoke subtract, then it will invoke multiply, then it will invoke divide. So here what I will do is, I am not going to invoke anything. When I am creating object, object will in turn invoke all these four methods. So create one. What is the class name? 5. My class 5, I will write 30, 10. Just see, I'm a constructor. X plus y 40, x minus y 20, x multiplied by y is 300, x divided by y is 3. How it is happening? Because this constructor, which gets invoked automatically, got invoked when we created an object of this class, and then inside it has invoked all the methods defined under this class. So we have seen constructor in action. We can do quite a lot using constructor. Those will be covered in the upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.